this. All
Okay,
right.
no problem.
So what this page is right here, this is the Java 8 API. You can think of it, and I think Zach, I've shown this to you before, at least a couple weeks ago. The
hmm
Java 8 API is very similar to Wikipedia.
Oh,
It's
okay.
basically it's the Wikipedia of Java 8. So how you and Kareem, have you seen this before, Kareem, or no?
No.
No. Okay. So I'll demonstrate to you a little bit how to navigate it. So if you go to, okay, so right now we're on the Java 8 API. If you go, so right here you see the packages top left.
hmm Yep. Yeah.
So the packages, these are basically it's very similar to a bookshelf. And within that bookshelf, you're going to have a series of books. Okay. So you have the java.applet, that's one book. Excuse me, that's one bookshelf. And then you also have java.io, which is the input output. Now, the one I want to look at right now is java.lang, because right now what Zachary is trying to do is he is trying to essentially round a number. Correct, Zach?
hmm
Okay. Now, Kareem, can you tell me why we probably shouldn't look at the java.math?
Um, you said why we should look at the Java.math?
Yeah, because that's an option here. So why do you think? Just I know y'all haven't done that yet in the class. In fact, I don't think it's actually going to be in 1301. But why could you maybe provide some sort of guess or hypothesis of why you think we wouldn't use that?
I guess because we're not really dealing with like math calculations like that, and we're trying to
Yeah.
figure out like the programming language. Is that what
Yes.
it is? Okay.
Well, yeah, that's definitely one way to look at it. What you should know for this class is that when you're doing the coding, there is, especially on your midterms too, there will be some numerical operations that you're going to have to do because you're going to be tracing code. That's essentially it's not for necessarily this upcoming midterm. I believe your midterm is going to be sometime this week, correct?
I
The
think
ninth.
so. I have to check again. Oh,
Yeah,
Okay,
the
so
ninth.
it's next
that's
Friday.
fine.
Yeah.
We'll after I'm done with this, I'll make sure to go in and check the schedule.
Oh, it's October 9th is the midterm next Friday.
Okay,
Oh,
it's
okay.
next Friday. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'll make sure to show the schedule.
Okay.
But essentially, as you see here, the classes here, you have like big decimal and big integer. You're not going to have to deal with these. It is some of this could be helpful, but frankly, you won't really need to. The really major package you should look at is java.lang. Because java.lang, if you look at the classes here, these are the various books. Do you see it here, Zach?
Mhm.
Kareem?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So these are essentially all the books, basically, or if you will, dictionaries, because within them you will find various functions which are found under the method summary. So what we're going to be looking for now for Zach is we are going to look at, well, we could definitely look at floor. I know, Zach, that's one of the methods that you use, which does work, but we could also look at round. So Zach, tell me why when we're using round we wouldn't want to well, actually, wait one moment.
Mhm.
The closest int. Okay. So we're trying to retrieve an integer, correct? For this problem?
Yeah, correct. Yep.
Okay. So as a result, which which one of these do you believe we should be using? Um well actually no, that let me reiterate let me say that again. That's what we should be looking at. So what you notice here is that both of these methods, they're both round methods, correct?
Yep.
So what do you believe that means?
Um, well, I mean, I know that if you round, I
Yeah.
might just be misinterpreting what you're saying, but I know rounding, you're going either up or down to the nearest
Yes.
integer based
Yeah,
on.
definitely. Well,
Okay.
yes, that is true. You got that right. But one other thing you should know too about round uh statements that you find multiple times, whether it's next up, like you see here, next up or round, is that it means that the method is overloaded. And what
Okay.
overloaded means, actually, let me ask this. Does anyone know what overloaded means?
No.
No.
Okay. So what overloaded means is that Java has designated a certain method to perform multiple tasks, but it's only one method. So it's actually rather convenient though, because the IDE you'll be using already accommodates for that. So it'll look at the number that you put in, it'll read it and say, oh, we need to round this to the nearest int, or we need to ensure that this is a long. You don't really need to focus on that too much. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So right now we're going to be looking at the int. So let's see here. So for this one, it returns the closest int to the argument with ties rounding to positive infinity. So essentially, so what you can see from here is that it will return you an int because it says public static int round. Okay,
Right.
so the round means that or is that you will take in, excuse me, the float means you're going to be taking in some sort of decimal number and you'll round it, and it will round to an integer.
Right.
That makes sense?
Mhm.
Okay. So how do you think this could possibly help you with your code, Zachary?
So let's see if the argument is negative infinity or any value less than or equal to the value. So it looks like this, I could just be completely wrong,
Okay.
but it looks like if you enter a minimum and a maximum value, then that would completely solve my problem. Because I know the minimum would be 0.24. Wait, hold on. Let's see. No, max would be 0.24, and min would be, min would be 0.25, right?
Okay. Yeah, so let's actually, you want to try it out on your screen? I'll stop sharing and you can try it.
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Okay.
Let me
You
actually
just
take a
take
picture
the-
of this real quick.
Huh?
All right, we're good. I just want to take a picture so I have something to reference.
Okay.
Yeah, let me share.
Okay, so then once we're done helping Zach, Kareem, we'll look at the schedule real quick so that you have a better idea of what to expect. And yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
And then we'll move on to your question too. Okay?
Okay.
Sounds good.
so here it'd be int round. Actually, we want that to be x. We might want to cast because we want it to be an integer. We actually do want that to be round.
Yeah, you want to probably rename that because then you have two x variables.
Right. So then round float.
You don't have to type in float. I don't believe so.
Okay.
That the only reason why there's a float in there was it was just to describe what the what is supposed to go in there.
Okay. So, well, that's the case. Float A. Do I need to put the public static or anything like that?
No. You already have public class numbers and then public static void. You're good. You don't need to put that.
Got it. Wow. Argument round. Okay, I'm actually completely lost on what to do. Sorry.
No, you're good. Let's see.
It's Kareem, right?
Yeah.
Have you gotten to this part of the homework yet?
I don't believe so. I don't even remember seeing that.
Okay.
Have you tried looking online for this?
I haven't this one yet. I actually was just doing it right before.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is interesting. Because the problem with the round method in this situation is that it won't round exactly how you want it to, per se.
Okay.
Because so if you'll scroll up just a little bit, because I just need to see the direction part. So it says in Ruritania, fractional numbers are rounded up to the nearest integer if the fractional part is at least 0.25. However, they are negative, they are rounded down to the lowest. Okay. Yeah, so that's the problem, because if you had, for example, 1.3, then it's going to round up regardless.
Right.
Excuse me. Well, it's supposed to round up, but with your round statement, what it's going to do is it's probably going to round down because it's less than 0.5.
Right.
So, I mean, how you could possibly brute force it, and again, this may be just a little bit, it's a couple weeks ahead, is through just, like you said before, a series of if-else statements. So, for example, like, if x is greater than 0.3, then you, or like, if x is greater than, no, you can't do 0.3 because then that's just, that wouldn't work exactly.
Yeah, it's really strange because a lot of the questions on the homework are extremely easy. And then at least one section, and this is for the chapter review, at least one question in each section is completely, I have no idea what to do.
Yeah.
It almost seems like if there was like an answer sheet at the end, that'd be great. So I had something to base it on and I could like reverse engineer it. But
okay. Here's what I'll do. Do you mind if we return to this a little bit later?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because I'll open up the textbook on my end. What was it on?
That's a great question. It looks like at the page's bottom left, 70.
Okay.
If this is where the page number is, that is.
Okay. This is do big Java late objects, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. Because my page 70 is a little bit different. It doesn't have that problem.
Wonder, weird, is it not? Interesting.
So you're in chapter 2, right?
Yep, chapter 2.
What section?
It is interactive review and practice.
And that's for practice 2.1, I believe.
This is 2.5. It's called challenging programming questions.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. And professor service is requiring you to do these?
That's a great question. I just kind of had the idea that we needed to do everything.
I see.
That was prompted. I could be wrong. Let's see.
No, I mean, extra practice is definitely good. But yeah, so we'll take a look at that again.
Okay.
So
I'll see if this is for a.
Okay. She may be. I took it over the summer, so there may be a discrepancy because I get like about half the time y'all get to cover the material, so that could be a reason. I'm not sure again. So I'm gonna start sharing. So if we go back on to this, so for you, Kareem, and also Zach, for this past week, we've gone over variables, arithmetic, input, output, and strings. I'm going to make sure that we go over that for this class, at least particularly the variables part. I actually have a video to show y'all, and then we can have a discussion for that where I'm hoping you guys can try to explain back to me what you learned from the video. And if you have any further questions about the strings, input, output, and arithmetic, we will have a question and answer session after that so we can go over it.
Okay.
Now, I did want to talk about the midterm real quick. Excuse me. So, y'all do have a midterm next week. So what I do suggest you do is that you download the forget what the software is called, but essentially it's a web browser software which ensures that you can't leave your testing your test setting, if you will, while you're taking it. So make sure to download that and have a webcam and microphone. Make sure they're both on while you're taking it. So yeah. Have you guys downloaded that, or have y'all done that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's good. Some more tips for reviewing for the midterm. Definitely do practice problems through the uh, through the textbook, but because you're only doing chapters 1 and 2, it won't be very rigorous in terms of the actual coding or well, there, yeah, in terms of the coding or the code tracing, rather it'll be mostly an emphasis on the invitation to CS section. So what I suggest you do on that front is that you go to the invitation.jar. You guys know which application I'm referring to?
Oh yeah.
Zach, do you know what I'm referring to?
I might, but I can't off the top of my head quite remember.
Okay, let me show you that.
Okay.
It's like that cool application you got to make a dictionary with. It looks like this.
Oh yeah, of course. Okay,
Yeah,
right.
it's all good. So make sure to go through and practice them. I think in particular you want to test out the search for largest function, understand how this works. Definitely look at logic circuits. That is very important that you understand where the ones and zeros go. I like to compare it. If you're still having trouble with it, I like to compare it to probability in a certain sense because if you have a union, then you have a combination. You don't have a combination of both probabilities, so that probably that wasn't the best metaphor, but essentially, what I suggest you do is you try out these various combinations that you can do with the gates, connect them, and just try to see what number you get because I am rather sure that could be a part of your exam.
Okay.
So definitely take a look at that. Von Neumann, I'm not sure how important that'll be. Definitely review that. I would suggest reviewing it. And other than that, maybe no, not the binary shelf. Maybe. But yes, so make sure to practice that, especially look over your labs. Your labs will help you
Okay.
on that front. Any other questions, Kareem, Zach?
Not really. Not on the midterm.
Okay. Sounds good. So if that's the case, then let's move on to the video. So this is one of the this is one of the channels I suggest you use studying just a little bit, not too much, because this is more of what you're going to be doing for the rest of the course for this. So for the second half of the course, definitely Cave of Programming and Zachary. I've shown this to you, Nathan Schultz. His YouTube channel is actually no, this is a different guy.
I think it was Shuts.
Shuts. Yeah, that's my bad. I don't know why I put an L there. It's Shuts. Yes, thank you. These two guys are exceptional resources that I suggest you use. For example, you're going to be learning about array lists. So he has plenty of material on array lists and arrays and different types of classes. Okay. So, and for this upcoming midterm, what you can do is I would suggest watching Crash Course. Do you guys know Crash Course?
Yeah.
I've already told me about that, but yeah. Oh.
Yes. Their Crash Course Computer Science, I found that very helpful. Let me see. For the first half of the course, not so much the second half because they don't really delve into the actual coding part of Java. They mostly talk about the history of computing. So you will definitely want to watch through at least some of them. I would suggest watching through Boolean logic and logic gates, binary, ALUs, register and RAMs, and CPUs. Other than that, you don't really need to watch any of these, any of the others. You could probably possibly watch memory and storage too. But again, definitely depends on your needs, but I would suggest watching a couple of those. So what we're going to do now is watch this variables video, and then we'll have a discussion about it, or more of you guys are going to be lecturing me, if you will, just a reverse teacher-student role so I can understand how much you understand. Okay?
Okay.
Sounds good. Let me know if you can hear it.
I can hear it.
You can hear?
Yeah.
Good to go.
Okay.
Hello, this is John from caveofprogramming.com. This is the second tutorial in our series of Java tutorials for complete beginners. And today we're going to look at variables in Java. Don't worry if you don't understand absolutely every single last thing in this tutorial, because learning a programming language is like learning an ordinary language, and you just have to practice it, and gradually it sort of sinks into your head. I'm going to use the Hello World program from the last tutorial as a starting point here. So what is a variable? I'll give you an example. I'm going to type int, and I'm going to make up a name here, my number. Variables are like boxes that you can put values in, and we've got different sizes of boxes in Java that can hold different kinds of things, different types of boxes, I should say. And what we've done here is I made up a name, my number, and notice I've given it a lowercase initial letter, but I've capitalized the second word of it. And that's a sort of a convention in Java. And my number is of type int, which means integer, meaning that this box can hold an integral number, a whole number, in other words, negative or positive. So here I've created the box, and we say I've declared the variable, and I can now put a value into the box. I can say my number equals 88 or whatever, and I'm now initializing the variable. So I've declared the variable here, now I'm initializing the variable. And I can output this by the same method that we used in the first tutorial. I'll type sysout, I'll press Control Space, and Eclipse creates this system.out.println, print line for me. And I just put my number in there. And if I click the green Run button, it outputs 88. Now here I've declared and initialized the variable in two separate steps. But I can declare it and initialize it at the same time. I can say equals 88 up here. I can get rid of this line. And that does just the same thing. Now in Java, there are 8 primitive types of variables. And we're going to go through these really quickly. And then in the next tutorial, we'll look at classes a little bit, classes and objects. So we've got an int here. An int is a 32-bit value in Java. if you don't really know what that means, don't worry, it doesn't really matter. Basically, if you want an integral number, a whole number, then use an int usually. Sometimes you'll see short, which is for, well, it's a 16-bit value, so it can hold slightly smaller numbers. Still, quite a lot into it, probably up to, I don't know, maybe 32,000, I think. And we can output that the same way, sys out my short. And there's also a long version of an int for really long numbers, my long. And these names here, by the way, could be anything. I could call these apple, cat, you know, absolutely anything at all. So I'm just making up names for variables. Let's output that, sys out my long. This is a 64-bit value for really big numbers. You can put a lot bigger numbers than this in there. It's also, what if you want a floating point number? You usually use a double. This means kind of double precision, extra precision sort of thing. So I can put, like, you know, some number in there. Sys out my double. Hey presto. And there's no long version of double, but there is a short version called float. And there's a slight complication here, which is if you type a floating point number in Java like this, by default it's a double. So you have to put an F on the end of it to get a float. But these doubles and ints are the most commonly used values here. My float, the others a bit less common. In addition to these 5, there's also 3 other rather interesting types. There's a char type, which can hold a Unicode character. And you can specify a character by putting it in single quotes, like this. It could be any character on your keyboard. I'll just put Y. As I say, that's Unicode, so it's 16-bit. Unicode just means you can represent basically a whole bunch of crazy characters using this. There's a very useful Boolean type, which I guess is named after, I think it was George Boole, or possibly Boulos, I'm not sure, who invented Boolean logic. And this can just hold true or false. Sys out my Boolean. True. Or I could change that to false. And that's all you can put in that. And finally, we've got the byte type, which can hold just 8 bits of data. So it's a number, negative or positive, but it can only go up to about 127, I think. And often that's quite useful because sometimes you want to represent a whole load of data by an array of bytes, and you can use this and you know precisely how much space it will take up. Okay, so that's it for declaring boxes and shoving stuff into them. In the next tutorial, we will look at some non-primitive types, classes and objects. So don't forget there's more info and tutorials on Cave.
Okay, excellent. So I hope that was informative. So Kareem, can you provide me some insight on variables, or like what purpose they serve?
All right, so from what I see, like when he was working out, you use variables to set values. So any value you want, and then there are certain types of variables where you can set certain values. So for the integer, I know that's for whole numbers, and then I know for double, that is for decimals.
Yes.
And then I think he said for the char character, that's for Unicode characters, so like Y, X, stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. You mostly
then
use letters for that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So I actually the you will definitely be using char in the future, especially char.at. With char.at, you can find certain letters, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah. So Zach, can you extend any further on what Kareem discussed?
I mean, he pretty much nailed it. I mean, variables are yeah, I mean, they're ways to store values. They represent something. They make things more clear. So if I'm trying to figure out how to, I don't know, let's say, like the one that I was just doing beforehand it was some weird thing where the variables were chickens and hens, and they had a way to monitor how many chickens and hens there are, whatever. But the important part of it was not so much what they were called, but that helped in understanding the flow of the algorithm or the program. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, that's pretty much all that I could add is the titles make it clear, and the values are what you'd be adding, subtracting, so on and so forth, representing, I suppose.
Definitely. So I have a question. Do variables are they permanently in memory, or can they be temporary?
They can be temporary.
They can be temporary. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so you can assign a variable a new value, but you can also make it a static, I guess, unchanging variable if you put final before it.
Yes.
True. And I believe it's common practice to capitalize everything in a final. So that'd be the answer, yeah.
Yes. So that's definitely true. Thank you, Zach, and thank you, Kareem. Those were excellent responses. One other thing that you should know is that so you see here, so this is essentially a where it says public class. So what can happen sometimes is that you will have a variable. Let me see if I can find an example. So you'll have a variable where it's defined in one area of the code, but it's not necessarily defined in another area, so you would have to call it. So you see where it says public static void. So this is again a lot later in the class, but you see how it talks about says double homework average, get homework average, and things like that. So with these variables, they are really convenient, especially when you have call methods, because you will have to work with a lot of code, and in order to synchronize everything a little bit better, you're probably going to have to put them in different methods. So as you see here, wait one moment. So yes, as you see here, you have the variable num test scores, and then it returns test average. Well, as you see here, test average is defined here, right? Now, just because it's defined here does not mean it's defined where it says test average. You'd have to as you see, we'd had to define it here. So what you can deduce from that is that for each method, when you have a new method, if you need to use a variable again, you will have to define it again. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, this is more applicable when the code gets a bit more complex, but it's definitely good to know. Does that sound good, Kareem?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So beyond that, y'all did excellent with the explanations. Would you like to add on to explanations, or should we just go on to your questions?
We just go into the questions.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So, Kareem, what was your question about the programming project?
Okay, so I understand the project. Like I understand what values we have to put in. But what confuses me is like I mean I've tried so many things. I've watched so many videos and stuff. But I like for example, right? I put the initial the initial variable for number of cookies. And of course, I know that's a whole number. Then I did double for the other ingredients that I had to set to the variable. And then I went down and did the other stuff.
Yes.
And I was having trouble with it at first. Like it was able to read it, and then it was saying that there was other stuff that I had to put in. Like for example, the instructions was like you have to set it to 48 cookies, 1.5 sugar, 1.0 butter, and 2.75 flour. But like when it shows your output, when it shows the output, it shows other values that aren't those numbers. So like I saw like 62. It's like it was a whole bunch of other numbers, and I was confused because the instructions didn't have any of those numbers in it. If that makes sense.
Okay. Would it be possible for you to share your screen so I can see your
Oh
code?
yeah, no problem.
Okay, excellent. Zach, have you done this project too? Or
Yeah, I did.
did you have similar problems?
So I think I did. I remember I got it finished.
Okay.
So I could be able to be helpful. Let's see.
Yeah.
Are you able to see it?
Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Okay. And
So
this
we
is
have
oh,
int, double. Okay. Okay, so what's the problem they're saying for line 31?
okay, let's see. Okay, they're saying that it's already defined in the
Okay.
method. Yeah.
Yes, I think it's
Oh, sorry.
I think it's just basically saying it's not necessary, but
So I think this is what I did. I can let you know. I did. I changed, instead of it being number of cookies
Mhm.
or assigning a different value to it, I made that a completely different variable. So I just put int cookies in that one.
Oh, okay.
yeah, I think that's probably where the conflict's occurring. But maybe I'm not sure.
And then sugar and cookies. Hey. That one, sugar and cookies. Yeah, I guess run that and see if that helps.
Wait, say it again.
If you change the variable int number of cookies
Oh,
to
okay.
anything, you can just change it to cookies, for example.
Like this?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay.
And then submit that and see what that gives you. Oh no, keep that.
Oh, okay.
So I think what they're going to be doing in this is, so they're going to give you an arbitrary number for the amount of cookies they're looking to make. So the recipe is designed for 48 cookies. So they want you, let's say that they want to make 60 cookies. They want to know how much of what ingredient to make 60 based on the recipe to make 48. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay. I figured that too. Okay. Uh,
By the way, if you hear the dogs barking, just let me know. I'll mute it.
oh, nah.
Okay.
No, you're good. I don't hear anything.
All right. Okay. So now it's saying, cannot find symbol. Oh yeah, this is something I was having a huge problem with.
You were talking about the formatting.
Yeah. But it's saying,
Yeah.
cannot find symbol for cookies, and I can't change this, so I was always confused about that.
Okay, so what you can do for that, what I suggest you so figure out. Okay.
Oh, I know what to do. I'm sorry. Not to.
No, you're good. You're good.
Um,
Whatever help you can get.
change int capital cookies to all lowercase cookies. because
Okay.
it wants to print that variable, but they're not the same because of that should fix it.
I see. Was that the issue, or was it the formatting? I should have probably read that. Okay. So you will need 50. Okay, yeah, no, that's a problem. You're printing out the variable too. You can scroll up a little bit. Yeah, so here's the problem I'm seeing with your code, Kareem, and I think Zach, you probably noticed this too. You see how that's a string?
Yes.
Yes. So because you put sugar underscore in underscore 48 underscore cookies in the string, it's going to be printing out that exact statement. So instead, you want to print out cups of sugar or whatever they want you to. No, not there.
Okay.
So go
printf.
go to lines 44 through 46. You see that?
Okay. Oh,
Now,
okay.
you see where it says sugar underscore in like all that?
Yeah.
So you want to take out not all of it. Is there any way I can? Okay, wait one moment. Okay, so it says where it says sugar underscore in underscore 48 underscore cookies. That entire statement, delete it and just say cups of sugar.
Oh, okay. So right here.
Oh no,
That part in line 44.
Yep, 44 through 46. The stuff
Oh,
after printf.
Yes, because and we can go over string statements a little bit too. The idea behind a string is so that you can print out some words. So if you had, for example, if you wanted to print out, for example, hello world, you want to do system dot out dot print or print line if you wanted to too, but it doesn't really matter. And then parentheses, then you have the quotation marks, and then you have hello world in between the quotation marks. So
Okay.
so for 44, do you mind scrolling down a little bit?
Oh yeah, no problem.
Okay. So what's their expected outcome? Their expected outcome is that they want to see 1.94 cups of sugar. Okay. So what you need to write where it says sugar in capital letters in line 44 is cups of sugar.
Okay. So
Yeah, and try to make it lowercase.
Yeah, all of it needs to be lowercase.
Yeah.
oh, okay. All right.
Just a quick question, Kareem. Do you happen to have an IDE or
ID. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't think so.
okay. Well, I suggest for your next programming project to definitely get one in case like you're working on this on multiple days because for some reason Chrome crashes or something like that, then you're gonna lose all your work, and I wouldn't want that for you. So
Right.
make sure to get either Eclipse or JGrasp. If you'd like me to, I can walk you through how to get that. So
That would be great. Yeah, because I tried to actually do that earlier today, and I couldn't figure out how to download it.
okay. So what you need also, don't forget the spaces between cups and of and sugar. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other thing too,
Yes.
if you look at actual output,
yeah, the actual output's messed up. Yeah.
So
yeah.
if you go to the top, let's see. So it's somewhere in the calculation, sugar and 48 cookies, which is 48 over. Okay, make that. Okay, yeah, make that cookies where the 48 is. All the 48s. Oh, sorry. I know that sounds. After the dash on line 34, 37, and 40.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it should just be cookies.
Yeah. So that should give you. So cookies will be what the input is. So if they want 5, it'll be. I wonder if it's cookies over. Yeah. Okay, I get it. So it should instead of being sugar underscore and underscore 48 and underscore cookies, it should be cookies divided by that instead of divided. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm overcomplicating it or not.
Yes. So I'm actually looking at my old code that I found for this. I think what you definitely need to take a look at for this one. So I did a little bit differently, but this works too. So you said sugar and 48 cookies.
Right.
Okay. Let me actually here, give me a second. Let me find the programming project. Okay, never mind. We can work with that for now. We may need to change that, but let's just experiment with it first. Okay, so you have cups of sugar. Click submit, see what you get.
Oh,
Yeah, you
should it be
gotta change
lowercase?
those to lowercase cookies.
Oh yeah, it's gotta remember Java's case sensitive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
when I emailed the teacher, she said put it all in caps. I don't know how she told me that. But
Well, the reason why you want to you typically name variables in all caps if you like to, or at least that was I know that's Professor Service's preference, either all caps or all lowercase is fine. I believe lowercase should be fine.
okay.
Yeah, no, lowercase is fine. You can do lowercase too. You can the only thing you shouldn't do is say, for example, you only capitalize C in cookies and you left everything else lowercase. You can't do that, not to my knowledge.
Oh, okay.
So you want to avoid that. What you could do, funny enough, is you could do if you had cups of sugar. What you could do is you could leave the first C in cups, or like you can leave the C in cups lowercase, but you can keep the O in of and the S in sugar uppercase. That's what I did in my old code, and so that's definitely possible as well. But definitely keeping it uppercase it works too, or lowercase.
Okay.
Hmm. Sorry, let me be specific. You don't have to put it in between the strings. That's only for the variables. So for the strings, you can. So one thing you should know, Kareem, for strings is that you can basically write whatever you want in strings, and it'll print out no matter what, whatever you put in.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, I wanted to write your name. Yeah, let's actually try that. Do you mind if I share my video?
Sure.
Okay.
You need me to stop sharing?
Oh no, it's good. I'll just take over. Okay.
Okay.
And Zach, we have a couple minutes left, so I'll definitely move on to your thing. I apologize.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay. So let's find. Okay, yeah, no, we can work on this project now. Okay. So we have string n. I want you to notice something here, man. So let's say your name is Cream. So we're gonna put in Cream. Okay. And then we do sys out space, and then we just want to print out n. Okay. So what do you think is going to print out right now, Kareem?
My name?
Exactly. And it's just your name. Nothing I didn't have to change it anyway because the nice thing you didn't have to change it at all because whatever goes in strings is just going to be printed out. Let's say for example, I wanted to capitalize the R in Kareem and let's even add a couple numbers too and an and sign. See? Prints it all out.
Okay.
So in between strings doesn't really matter too much. Just make sure to go with whatever is you're supposed to be printing out. So like in your product directions, you want to be printing out whatever yes, so you want to be printing this out.
Okay.
Yeah. For the cookies. Okay. My bad. So you want to be printing out like cups of flour, cups of butter, and cups of sugar. And yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
While like if you name it something else, like let's just name this Kareem. I'm gonna try. Okay, we only have a couple minutes left. I will actually stay a little bit longer so that we can figure out your issues, Zach.
Okay.
Okay, I guess so. You can actually leave it capitalized. I guess it's just bad etiquette. Frankly, just avoid. I think the rule of thumb is just don't tick off the grader. So just make sure to just either keep it all capitalized or only capitalize like after having a lowercase or starting with a lowercase. Does that make sense, Kareem?
Yeah.
Okay, I hope that helped. Okay, Zach, let us move on to your your project.
Yeah, so I'll share the screen.
Yeah, and Kareem, if you'd like to continue working on the project, I'll stay a little bit longer, however much longer you need me to, and so that we can try to figure this out. I would suggest work on your project. If you have any other questions, just let me know.
Okay.
Just either speak up or through the chat. Doesn't really matter.
Thank you.
So I have a feeling with that one, I can find the answer.
Okay.
Are you okay if I give you a different one that I was?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. We'll just load up real quick. Okay. So give four positive integers. Yeah, this one right here.
Okay. Compute the sum of those among them that are odd. Okay, so this is definitely a classic if statement. So
the thing, I tried using an if statement and it gave me, let's see, what did it say? Do not use the if statement.
Okay, well now they're just being annoying.
Right, that's where I like the if statement makes perfect sense to me.
And usually you would have the ability to use the if statement. I know that for sure. Whatever they're trying to get you to use, frankly, it's probably unnecessary, but we'll work around it.
Okay.
Let's see though what we can do with this. So we're
maybe I can reset this if that works.
Huh?
I can reset this back to what it was originally if that works.
That actually probably won't be necessary. This is under because I actually have the textbook pulled up on my end too. So is this 2.5?
This is 2.2. Interactive review and practice.
Got it. Okay, give four positive integers. Because you have not yet learned how to make decisions, use the fact that. So we can't just do it where it's if n divided by 2. We want to sum the odd ones, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
And the inputs will change too. So, it'll be 13 and 9 for one, and then integer a is 7 for the next, just kind of, it's already inputted.
Okay. And we can't use an if statement. Right?
Yep.
Huh. Okay. I looked, not finding too much. I'm looking up right now what we can do. Because frankly, an if statement, in my opinion, is the best option. It's the easiest option.
Something about So obviously the key here is the modulus, but I mean, like that, there's obviously something possibly simple that I'm missing here, because the rest of these have been relatively simple, like
Yes.
area, things like that. But
So, I mean, one thing I did notice about your code is I think it somewhat unnecessarily used too many variables.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Like, you didn't have to do, for example, int a2 is equal to a percent sign 2.
right.
What you could have done. Well, they already gave you the integers, though. So, I'm wondering if you do like an in.next int. But that's again if you could scan in, but you're not scanning in anything.
Right.
Right? Yeah, there's no scanner. So
Well, and so things have already been inputted in this already.
yeah, no, that's true. That's why I was thinking probably in.next type of thing wouldn't really be necessary.
Would it be helpful if I printed out what the expected answer is?
Yeah, try it out.
All right. So, let's see, odd sum. Let's just call it A, whatever.
Yeah.
So code check. All right. What?
It's the capitalization, I think. Because you did they said odd capital S sum, and you just said odd sum with alert.
Oh yeah, good call, catch. Okay.
That's supposed to work?
So it'll tell what they expect. So 13
I think
and 9.
that's because you're just spitting out some of the same numbers, no? Actually, wait. Is it? No. Yeah, no. Okay, so the problem is you're only printing out the first variable. So here, scroll up for a second.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Sorry.
Okay.
All I was doing there was just showing you what they expect at the end of it.
You
And
know
that
what?
kind of
Try
gives you.
do here. Just do int odd sum a plus c.
So if you do that, it'll be right for the first one.
Yeah, and then just do int odd sum. Let's just say 2. Like as a different line. So int odd sum 2 is equal to Oh wait, do they not provide you with all of them?
No. So these ones have been inputted somewhere, just not in a place that I can see. So it won't. Yeah, because they want odd sum to equal each of these depending on what the variables are.
Yeah, I understand. Java. Yeah, so let me share my screen.
Okay.
So I found this, and only reason why I'm using it is because it actually doesn't seem half bad. What you will want to use though, if you're looking for code or if you're looking for help, and this also goes for you too, Kareem, you can use something called oh wait, I just forgot the name. Wait a second. Pretty sure I have it written down somewhere. Here, give me a moment. Um, Stack Overflow. And you can find code there, not the exact, not the exact, obviously, but it can provide help there in that department. So what you can see here is, okay, well, some of this looks a little bit weird, if I'm honest. Like int number, comma I, comma odd sum, but we'll work with it for now. So what they're doing for this one is that they have a scanner. It's set equal to the variable sc, and then if you do sc.nextInt, then it'll take the next integer that you put into the scanner.
Right.
Yeah, so you already know that. So did it ask you to use a scanner?
No, not in this one. This one, they somehow, without a scanner, have inputted all the variables.
Yeah, that frankly does not make sense.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, what can you do? I don't think that's going to work. I don't understand why this program doesn't let you see where. Oh wait, I need to define it. Let me just define it as. Oh wait, no, I don't need to because it's already there. Yeah, so this passes, but all these don't. Let me think about this a little bit more. Have you tried looking anywhere else beside for now, or?
So there's like places that have the answer, but they're behind paywalls,
Oh,
which always obnoxious.
yeah, I know. Okay, so this is Stack Overflow. This is a free resource, so I think it'll be a bit easier to use. Kareem, how's it going on your end?
Okay, so it seems like I'm close. I'm close to figuring it out.
Okay.
I'm able to see that it's almost as if it tried to set the values for all the expected outputs for the different expected outputs, but
Mm-hmm.
I still can't figure out what's wrong. Like, yeah, I can't even figure out what's wrong.
Oh man. Okay. No, this problem is just being a little bit annoying because
This one's rough because everyone that I talk to. So my dad, for example, he does coding for a living. His first thought was F statement, so was mine, and obviously it didn't work.
That was my first thought for this because this is like a classic if statement situation. Yet it won't even allow you to do if statements.
Right. It almost feels like it needs a conditional.
You know, I'm tempted to just if you just again, this is definitely probably not going to be correct. I just thought it would be funny just to do this either way. I think you already did this, no?
I did something like that, yeah.
Yeah, you did something like that. Yeah, and then, but again, this is tedious. Like it should, do it for you automatically in a certain sense. And plus, if you didn't know the numbers, then this would be completely, it just simply wouldn't work.
Right. And the only thing that I'm thinking too is since it's so literal, it might say that odd sum 2 is wrong.
And that's a possibility too. Let's just try that out.
Oh, you know what?
What?
No. I think you're gonna get it. So I think I know it's.
Oh, I forgot. Man, why do I keep forgetting the semicolon?
I do it all the time. So yeah, because all it wants, let's see, will that work? Is it to say, system out print parentheses odd sum and then equals the thing that it's trying to equal.
Yeah.
So that actually very well could work.
Let's see if it works. Okay, well, we see the problem there because it's odd sum 22 and then it has 31 after that.
Right.
Oh, forgot a dagnab.
Yeah.
Now it's showing both of them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that, man. I'm trying.
Oh no, you're fine.
Yeah.
Like this one is just inherently incredibly difficult.
Yeah, no. Have you tried asking Professor Service?
No, I haven't yet. I probably should have, but I just kind of thought that I'd figure it out by now.
It's okay. That's fine. What I suggest you do after this class is go to the problem and solutions blog and just post it on there. Say that you came to my SI session. We tried, but it was being exceptionally weird because we thought it would require an if statement, but the program's very adamant on not using an if statement. So I would just suggest asking there, see if someone can help. And worst case scenario, which really is not worst case scenario, is Professor Service helps if in case anyone else can't really come in.
Yeah.
Again, sorry about that, man. This is a puzzling issue. That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Kareem, let's help you now.
Okay.
So you want to share your screen?
Oh yeah, no problem.
Okay. How far have you been able to get? How far have you gone so far?
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so before it wasn't even able to
well, you got pretty far.
Yeah. So
see, sorry to interrupt, man. So all you got to do now is you just got to change some of the formatting. So where you say okay, I want you to look at line 44, just line 44 for now, okay?
Okay.
Now you see where it says cups of sugar in the string?
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure the sugar or the S in sugar is lowercase because that's what they wanted. And in addition to that, now what I suggest you do, just as a way to kind of brute force it, if you will, is scroll down. You see the space. You know how there's a space in front of 2.44?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to highlight that.
So right here?
No. In the expected output,
Oh, okay.
don't highlight the 2.44 cups of sugar. Highlight the space before it.
Like this?
Like all of the space, as much as you can get. From
Okay.
Yes. Not yeah, exactly. Now, if you're on Windows, I guess click Control C.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want you to go back to your code.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's try it before the percent sign. Just paste it in there.
Before this right here? Before this right
Yes.
here? Okay.
Okay. And then click Submit. See if it works. Okay. Okay, I think I see the issue. So you don't need all of these slash n's. Do you know what the slash n does, Kareem?
I'm not too clear on it.
Okay, so what the slash n does is essentially it's very similar to just pressing the return key when you're like writing an essay or something like that. Just pressing, or it's a return or shift.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's return where you just go down a space.
Okay.
It's very similar to that. Let's actually, I just want to make sure. Yeah, so it's very similar to clicking return. So what you want to do is you want to take out the slash n, and let's try this out. So take out the slash n before, and then take out the slash n after. I want to see if that can work. And then click submit. Fingers crossed it works. Okay, so the 1.94 cups of sugar works. Wait. Where's the Oh, wait. Scroll up again. My bad. Yeah, so now you still need that space in front, so make sure to just paste in the space that you put
Oh,
for
okay.
the percent. Yeah. Then you should be good if you click submit. Okay, now your cups of sugar should be working, right? Yeah, it does. So all you got to do now at this point is just do the exact same thing exactly for each one, and make sure the butter is lowercase. Yep. And then the flour, take all that out, and then just paste it. Yep. Perfect. And hopefully, oh wait, what? Okay, so you do need the slash n after the butter and the flour. My bad.
Okay.
Try for after the sugar. Excellent. Now it works.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right.
Okay. Does that make a bit more sense now?
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes with these coding projects, they can be very tedious. So what you can do is just find nifty ways to get around it, whether it's like I said with the spaces, because this program can be a little bit tedious because they want to exactly pick like to the point. Like if there's just one letter off, it'll count you off. with due process, of course. So definitely you want to look out for that. And so yeah.
Oh man, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Zach, again, I hope you're able to figure that problem out.
Oh yeah, I won't stop. I'm obsessive with these kind of things.
Okay, well that's good. But yeah, does anyone have any other questions?
One more.
Oh yeah.
So how do you download JGrass?
Oh yeah, I will help you with that. Zach, do you have any other questions?
I'm good to go.
Okay, then you're free to head out.
All right. Well,
We're 20 minutes over. Yeah, no, of course. Anytime. Okay. Kareem, I will help you now. So let me share my screen.
And once again, thank you for helping me with that, man.
No, of
Bro,
course.
you have no idea. I've been on that for hours, man. And I knew it was the formatting.
Yeah,
man.
it's always the formatting, frankly. You're a smart dude. You probably know how to do all the coding. It's just a matter of the formatting. I completely understand, man. It's all good. Okay, so now there are two programs you can use. You can use JGrasp or you can use Eclipse. I personally like Eclipse because there are some shortcuts that make the coding process quicker. So, which one would you like to use?
Which one do you prefer?
I use Eclipse. I know Professor Service uses JGrasp, but let's just look at Eclipse, okay?
Okay.
So what you can do is just look up Eclipse, and then just simply download the most recent one. Just get Eclipse IDE 2020-09 and just download the 64-bit one, and then you should be
okay.
yeah.
So when I'm working on a project, like how do I put it on Eclipse?
So what you do, we can actually walk through that. So you can open up Eclipse. Yeah, get some light. So when we open up Eclipse, let's see. We'll actually probably have a more updated version of mine. This is the, I guess, 6th version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's see. It'll probably be no different. You see where it says demo?
Yes.
Right here. Okay. So you click the caret, and then you want to right click here, where it says SRC. So you right click there.
Okay.
And then you go here to new. Typically, you'll have a bunch of options like Java project, class, interface, all that. You want to go to class. You can name it whatever you want. But what I don't remember the exact restrictions you have. There are certain restrictions. You could definitely look them up later. So let's just take, for example, Kareem. Just type that in. Oh wait, I think the only restriction I can think of right now is that you can't have spaces. It's very similar to variable naming. Then most of the time you're going to want to click public static void. There are some situations you don't want to, but for the most part you want to click public static void. Then you click finish. And then from there you will have your public class, Kareem, and then you will have your first method, your main method.
Okay.
And you can start coding from there. Yeah.
So do I is there a way like okay, so for example, you know how she has those links and it links you to the report, to the coding report?
Yes.
Is there a way like I can download the report and then upload it onto Eclipse so I can start coding from there, or do I have to like start from scratch?
No, so you don't actually have to. So that report, you can actually copy and paste from there. What I typically do though is that even before I'm done coding, I copy and paste the entire thing from whatever the code check, and then I would suggest just copying it in there. Figure out which spaces are the ones we have to work with, and then you just go from there. because
Oh,
it's
okay.
just a lot simpler to do that because there's peace of mind. Because I know for me, for example, I would always be worrying about accidentally losing my coding project because it was all through CodeCheck, and if for some reason I X'd out of it, then I lose all my work, and you want to avoid that
All
at all
right.
costs. So, because I mean, clearly, as you know, it takes hours and hours to do some of these things, especially like you don't have help. So
Right.
yeah, okay.
Okay.
Does
Thank
that
you.
answer your question?
Yes, yes, yeah. I'm gonna download it as soon as possible.
Okay, sounds good.
All right,
Now,
man. Thank you.
yeah, no problem. If you have any other questions, do you have my email?
Uh, uh, I think I saw it somewhere. Yeah, I saw it in my the contents of my class. Yeah, yeah, I was able to see it.
Okay, well, I'll just put it in the chat just in case. If you have
Okay, no
any
problem.
questions during the week, I will well, first you should definitely ask through the Student and Solutions blog. I
Mm-hmm.
try to look at that every day. I sometimes fail to be frank. If you
Mm-hmm.
have like a really quick question, just shoot me an email, not through iCollege, but just through the normal Outlook, and then I will try to respond to it as quickly as possible. Okay?
Okay, cool. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, of course. Anytime.
Yes, sir. All right, take care, man.
Yeah, you too. Have a good evening.
You too.
That's the end of the recording.